Take a breath. Feel your heart. Remember, you are whole, you are sovereign, you are love, and you are free. Welcome back, beautiful, brave soul. Today is Tarot Tuesday. So tarot, I like to do tarot because tarot looks at our shadow. So the things that we do not want to see, but I also get really scared and I don't like to be scared. So I use this Light Seers Tarot, which is very positive. In fact, there isn't really much negative in here, and it's all seen as shadow. It's a perspective that's easy to digest. So that's why I like this particular tarot. I've tried other tarot that's a little darker because I'm trying to be able to see everything, right? And that's hard sometimes. But that's why I like to do tarot. It's a fun way to look at our shadow. I also introduced these archetype cards by Carolyn Mace, which are very kind of Jungian, I think, and help us look at these different archetypes or stories that we are working with. Because I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to break down these stories and learn the lessons so that we can write our own story, which is kind of like the Magician card in the tarot. So let's start out with an archetype card, or a couple of archetypes. I did a video the other day about some of the archetypes, which kind of get involved in the drama triangle. The archetype of the martyr, the rescuer, and the victim. That's drama triangle archetypes. But let's see what comes out for us today. What are the archetypes that we're working with? And I use the silence the silence is stillness, where we can hear spirit, our spirit, or spirit. Spirit's everything. So where we hear spirit guiding us. And we get our particular messages from spirit. Okay, hopefully we didn't get too many cards, but some dropped out. So let's see. Oh, we got the prostitute and the detective. Okay. I feel like this is a time to talk about sex. So I did have something I wanted to say about that. I'm gonna just find it. So give me a minute. So stay in silence and stillness. Listen to your spirit. And I will be right back. Okay. All right, this is cool. So I was having a little talk with ChatGPT, and I said, I think, okay. I think we're stuck in a drama triangle, and we're trying to break out of old cycles and stories. So I said, how can I help? I'm thinking it has to do with facing our shadows, and there are so many, but particularly sexually. With sex slaves and pedophiles, because this is me, because we are not healthy in our sexuality, we are creating this in our culture. What do we need to create a healthy attitude towards sex and a healthy sexual life? And what is the spiritual definition of that? And if you don't know how ChatGPT works, you feed it stuff and it helps you, it kind of feeds back stuff. So it gives you a lot of your own voice and a lot of your own, it uses what you have and then also other things that get pulled in. Okay, so I had talked about martyr scapegoat cycles. So why sexual shadow is so potent? Sexual energy is life force energy. The same energy we use to create babies, art, ideas, and love. When it's repressed, it festers and mutates in the unconscious. I'm looking at this card. But also at this one. Okay. When it's unconsciously indulged, it becomes compulsive and harmful. When it's integrated, it's sacred, creative, connecting, and healing. The spiritual definition of healthy sexuality. Yes, there is one for all of you Catholics out there. From a higher perspective, healthy sexuality is the conscious, sacred expression of life force energy in alignment with love, consent, respect, and truth. It's rooted in sovereignty. Each person owns their body and energy. Mutuality. Exchanges are chosen by both without coercion. Integration. Desire and intimacy are not split off from love, care, and spiritual connection. That's a good one. Reverence. Sex is seen as a creative act, whether it's making a child, bonding partners, or deepening intimacy with self. What we need to create a healthy sexual culture. This is big picture and personal. Shadow work. Individually and collectively, we must name and face what's been hidden. Sexual trauma, power abuses, shame-based conditioning. This means telling the truth even when it's ugly, so it can no longer fester in secrecy. Reclaiming sexual sovereignty, teaching children and adults that their bodies and desires belong to them. And for women, they haven't. We haven't. We're reclaiming our bodies. No one has the right to override another's consent, energetically, emotionally, or physically. De-shaming desire, moving away from moral condemnation toward curiosity and understanding. A really good Netflix documentary is called How to Build a Sex Room. I think that's what it's called. And it's really great because it explores sexuality between people and as something sacred between people. So your sexuality can mean whatever it means to you and whatever it means to your partner. And it can be different for every couple. It's different for every person and every couple. So that's a great show to explore that with your partner. When people feel safe to acknowledge desire, it's less likely to be acted out in distorted, hidden ways. Sacred sexual education. Beyond anatomy and don't get pregnant or sick, we teach about intimacy, energy exchange, emotional connection, and respect for self and others. Trauma healing. A culture that doesn't heal its wounds will repeat them. Supporting survivors to reclaim their bodies and voices, not as broken, but as whole beings who have experienced them. Okay, and then it said, how you can help, and this was addressed to me, but probably there's a piece for you. Your gifts are perfectly suited for this work. Individual healing, guiding women and couples to integrate their inner masculine and feminine, is sexual healing work at its core. Shadow integration, through tarot constellations and your acknowledge, validate, care for AVC model, you can help people face what they've denied in themselves. Relationship modeling, showing that intimacy can be tender, sovereign, and safe, helps rewire what love looks like. A lot of us have trauma bonded. Teaching energy literacy, showing how sexual energy is sacred life force, helps people approach it consciously instead of fearfully or exploitatively. Okay, so that's just an idea of how we can move into healthy sexuality. The prostitute light attribute accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. So it doesn't necessarily have to be sexual, but it's about how the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. Okay, let's see if we can get more cards on that. The shadow attribute is placing material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Okay, this is actually what we are struggling with, I think, as a nation, as a world. How we can not negotiate the power of our spirit. And how we can not place material considerations and security over our own self-empowerment. And the detective is, the light attributes are great powers of observation and intuition. We have those. We can know what truth is. There's so many people out there scamming you right now, or trying to scam you right now. But you actually, if you tap into your spirit, you'll recognize it. The desire to seek out the truth. What is true? It may be different for you and that it is for me, but it is all connected. Your truth may be different than my truth, and that's okay. They're all connected. That also means, you know, if you feel like something is too much for you, or it's not right for you, then it's not right for you. And you don't have to argue that with anyone or get that validated by anyone. You're actually the only one who can validate that for yourself. If you feel like it's not right for you, it's not right for you. The shadow attributes are voyeurism and falsifying information. And I would say voyeurism is also like social media, looking at what everybody else is doing and trying to figure out like what you should be doing based on what everybody else is doing. What you should be doing comes from inside of you. It's not going to come from out there. You can use guidelines. Like I didn't want to use any guidelines at first because I wanted it to be very authentic. But guidelines, like when you do a video, you can do a greeting. You can do the same greeting every time, or a little bit different greeting every time. You can give certain information. Businesses may require certain things. If you're going to become a coach or a life coach, you probably want to do your website a certain way. There's guidelines that you can follow, and once you understand them, you can kind of break the rules. But it isn't. I'm learning because I tried to do it like by the book. And it wasn't working for me. And also I don't like to do it by the book because I want it to be very authentic and be true to me and real for me. But I'm also learning that there's value in having some structure, and I don't have to be afraid of the structure. I talked about that in my last video. So the last part of the shadow of the detective is falsifying information. And that's kind of like when you're presenting yourself in a certain way, you're presenting yourself in a certain way. Sorry, I just got a text message and it was disturbing me a little bit. Just because I'm not ready to respond to it yet. So you're presenting yourself in a certain light as like, and I'm gonna say I was guilty of this too, like but I even believed it myself. Like, you're presenting yourself in the light of like, okay, I have this great life, and showing it all on social media and these beautiful pictures. But in actuality, it's not that pretty. You know, it's more real. You know, I presented myself as having this great marriage, like, and it probably looked like that in a lot of ways. We would walk together, and we would walk our child together in the morning. But I didn't feel connected. He didn't feel present to me. Like, I don't know that I was present. I think I was present, but, you know, there were some wounds that we needed to heal, and he wasn't ready to heal them, and I couldn't wait any longer. So, you know, the falsifying information is like, what are you presenting out there that's not really true? You know, do you feel like it's true? Does that feel true to you? What we project out into the world, does it feel true to you? If you go inside, is it integrated? Does it match? Because for me, it didn't. You know, it was like inside I was feeling really lonely. Okay, so just looking at those two archetypes, and I got some tarot cards so they all fell on the floor, so we can get a little more information. Okay, I got a bunch of them. I don't know the order of them, so I'm going to just see. Actually, I'm just going to mix them up and see if we can get the right order, since they all fell on the floor. All right, so what do we need to know about the detective and the prostitute archetype? So I think what it's saying is that we all want to know what is real, because right now it seems pretty crazy out there. And the only way that we can really know what's real is what the prostitute's saying, is not negotiating the power of your spirit. I also posted on Facebook the song Invincible by Pat Benatar. Such a great song. I'm gonna sing it at karaoke this week. Okay. All right, so I got the King of Swords and the Queen of Cups. I love the Queen of Cups. And the Page of Wands. Okay, do we need any of these other cards? Let's see if we need any of these other ones that fell on the floor, or if they... Okay. Ooh, the World. All right, so we're just gonna take those right now. So let's see, what does the King of Swords want to tell us? Clear thinking, a strong communicator and leader, truth and proof, blending mental and spiritual pursuits, bravery and courage. Okay, so it's a blend of the left brain and the right brain, the mental and the spiritual. But as I said in the last video, your thoughts need to follow your spirit. Your ego needs to follow your spirit. That's from Carl Jung, but I'm sure it's out there in a lot of different ways. We've been doing the opposite. We've been having we've been shutting up our spirit, which is our right brain, which is our feminine side. We've been like just suppressing it, shutting it down, and now it's rearing its head. I see it as Kuan Yin riding in on a dragon. Just wiping away with the fire, just wiping away everything that's not real. All the structures, the political systems, everything that's not real is burning down, and so we can find the true essence of things. But what we need to do internally is to be able to let our spirit lead and have our mind follow and support. So the King of Swords is, I make intelligent and wise decisions about my future, informed by my spirit. And the Queen of Cups. It's really like, for me, that's, she's holding everything. She's holding the polarities. She's holding everything in love. We're being guided. We're being helped and guided and supported. Okay, and the Page of Wands, we're starting a new way of being. A new way of being in the world, led by our spirit and our spiritual energy. It's a different way of being. It's throwing away the productive part, like we need to produce. That's very left-brained. And it's more going with the flow, the right brain. I'm learning it. So I'm starting to talk about it as I experience it. But it's not about like writing lists, and although you can do that, but those lists are really, should be more like of intentions, and your spirit will guide you as to what you need to do. So it's more of a flowing energy. So that's the Page of Wands. I'm going to see if there's anything else there. And the wheel. Oh, this is the wheel. I said it was the world, but it's actually the wheel. Explosive creativity, infectious enthusiasm, ideas aplenty, creative beginnings, and newly found inspiration, honing a new skill or creative passion and trying new things, gifting yourself permission to dream. Okay, I read that wrong a little bit. Maybe your dream is coming, like, actually this is very Lionsgate energy, and I've actually been feeling that. Our dreams are coming in, and our inspiration is coming in, and we're being told by our spirit, this is what you're going to do. This is your gift to the world. Okay, so that goes with this. It's like, do not negotiate the power of your spirit. And it goes along with the song Invincible, because right now we can't afford to be innocent. Stand up and, what is it? I'm gonna have to sing it. I don't want to sing it. Okay. Anyway, it's not coming to me now. All right, so we'll just go with the wheel. So your spirit is talking to you. It's telling you what your gift to the world is and what you're going to be doing. So listen, you could be afraid. It's a little scary. But don't let that fear shut you down. You're not alone. You have like a whole army behind you. Stand up and face the enemy. And with the power of conviction, there is no sacrifice. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible. Okay. The wheel. I allow transformative energies of fate to help me to expand my experience. Okay, it's coming in. Spirit is coming in strong right now. And it's telling you to let go of everything that you thought was true and just experience it, expand, open, listen. And this happened to me right before I had to get a divorce. And it's happening to a lot of us right now. So don't be afraid. I've already been on this path, and I know that what it brings you is amazing. Don't be afraid to let go of the old, because what is coming is more you, more authentic, more true to your spirit, more powerful, more amazing than you could ever imagine. So I'm going to leave you with that.